The Embracing Minds podcast, delivered by Embrace Nonprofit Organization. This podcast aims to improve our understanding of autism and developmental disabilities. We aim to discuss and share stories of inclusion, acceptance, autism special needs stigma, power, impactful, transformative ideas ranging from practical to social, cultural challenges, and more. With host Abe and co-host Ryan Terado. Guys, once again, welcome to the Embracing Minds podcast. With you always, Abe Ruales, as well as co-host Ryan Terado. We're super excited to be recording our Christmas as well as New Year's Eve edition. Honestly, Ryan, thank you so much for all the work that you do. Did not think that we would get this far. Before we introduce our guests, I'd like to please ask you to share, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as follow all of our social media platforms so you can always be in tune with everything that we have going on. Our special guest, he's a mentor for Embrace. He's an amazing friend. He's a huge advocate for the neurodivergent community. He has really been there since day one. He was actually the official person to help us register our organization originally. He is always willing and ready to guide us in the right direction, and he's always supporting all of our Embrace events, all of our fundraising events. Our guest is going to be Samir Popal. He is the executive director of New Horizons in Autism in Freehold, New Jersey.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I was watching it a couple of times, your other segments, and was looking forward to this one. I'm glad to see you both here. Would love for this to be in person, all of us in one state, but I know how far we are, so this definitely works. Once again, thank you so much. Abe, thank you for the kind words in your introduction. Embrace is very close to my heart. You know that from day one. So anything that I can do to always be part of it and contribute to it and take it to the moon, I will do that.
I know, and you really have. And I was actually having a conversation with someone about it, and letting them know how, like, we have this one person member that, like, basically has, you're there every second, every time I ask you. I mean, obviously not right away because you have your own, your own facilities to worry about, but you've literally answered every question that I've asked, which has literally helped me kind of guide Embrace and into the right direction in where we're all going. So, I mean, I want to thank you for that, man.
You have the right mission in heart. You have the right mission in your mind. Your team is amazing. You want to do this for the right reason, and the community needs you. And the more that you do, the bigger your team gets. It's only better for those that need you. So I will always encourage you guys to do as much as you can.
But New Horizons, I mean, obviously I know about New Horizons. You guys do so much, and honestly, I'd like to know, what is New Horizons in Autism?
Sure. So New Horizons in Autism started in 1980, many years ago, between a group of four parents. Four parents came together that were thinking about what will happen to their loved ones when they are no longer able to care for them. So they came together and they formed New Horizons in Autism. At that point, it had a different name, but these four parents had the same vision in mind. And that's how it started with one initial program, which is in New Egypt, New Jersey. And those five young ladies, now it's four, unfortunately, that started that home are still there today. They are still living there. And even more amazing is that the first manager that entered that home, she's still there. Never left. Never left the home, never left the job. Susan, she's amazing. She's still there. All these years serving those individuals. And that is how it started. We are now at home number 17. In addition to that, we have five day centers throughout New Jersey. When I first met Abe about two and a half years ago now, we were three programs in terms of rehabilitation and were 15 homes at that point, or 14 homes. We are now 17 and 5-day programs. So We provide two main services that are considered the biggest component of it, which is day habilitation, where individuals, adults with autism, a 10-day program Monday through Friday between 9 and 3. And the second program is residential. Our individuals live with us. We care for them 24/7, 7 days a week, all year long. We are the primary caregivers for these adults. Obviously, many of them are lucky to have families in their lives, families that live in New Jersey, live outside New Jersey, and there are those that don't have anybody. But we are considered the primary provider for all of them. And then in addition to those two services, we have all these side services that we provide, which is recreation, right? Activities, fitness, programs, holiday events. We're very big on holidays. We literally celebrate everything. If it's a holiday on the calendar, we're going to celebrate it because diversity is huge within our organization, within our staff members, within our individuals. We celebrate everything with a smile. And that kind of consisted of the two main services that we have. We are reaching close to about now. I keep going back to when I first met Abe, and I was telling him how many staff we have. I was telling him, "Oh, we have about 290 and 300. Now it's like close to 400 staff members. So
Wow.
it's growing. It's growing exponentially, and it's growing also because there's a lot of need to it for this as well. You look at New Jersey statistics. They shared that in 2019, 1 out of 44 um, uh, kids were diagnosed with autism. That number is now 1 out of 33, and it's only 4 years ago, between 2019 and now, and that number drastically changed. 1 out of 33 now. So, in order for us to meet that demand, agencies like New Horizons and organizations like Embrace and people like us here, it needs to be more and more and more and more for us to meet the need of the community.
I'm glad to know the growth. I mean, you know how we are, and I mean, you know personally how I am. I mean, I believe heavily in elevation and basically upgrading your your mind and everything. So the fact that you could grow from 14 homes to 17 and have 350 to now have 450 employees is truly inspiring, and it's truly amazing to know and actually say that we have some sort of a connection with. When did you personally get involved with New Horizons?
I joined New Horizons in Autism in 2017 as the director of finance. That was my first position here. But in the industry, I got involved in 2011, and my first position was direct care staff member. I worked in a group home providing direct care to the individuals with autism and other disabilities. That's when I started in 2011. And then I believe in 2021 is when I was given the executive director position.
Congratulations! I mean, you rock it, man.
I got lucky with my team. I have a great team, and you guys have met most of them because I like to bring them with me wherever I go. So,
Yep.
and you guys had a pleasure of meeting them, and I have an amazing team members.
No, and that's why I say because you know how the organization is based on how the team reacts to either their director or their leader. And I mean, honestly, I see them always looking up at you and always kind of waiting for you to kind of give them the right direction. Which that's at the end of the day, a leader will always be a leader, and you're all for the same mission, but you need that person to be guiding you and tell you this, hey, you do this, that. So we're going on almost what, 13, 14 years?
Yes, yes.
Awesome.
In
Awesome.
this, and I'm here to stay. I don't have any other plans of doing anything else in my life except service to those that need us.
That's awesome.
Was there a specific calling or anything that kind of led you to work in this industry?
To be honest, no, it wasn't. It was for me. It was a summer job back in 2011. I had a job lined up at King University in September, and I was leaving the job that I had. So I had a summer in between. And believe it or not, my brother Masi, he was in this industry before me. So I asked him, like, "Hey, I know you work in a place helping those with special needs. Are they hiring for the summertime?" He's like, yeah, sure, come, I'll take you to the office, and they're always hiring. So I went and got a job. I was like, this will hold me off a couple of months before I go to my next job. And then you know what? Never left.
Fell in love.
Him was an amazing organization that I used to work for before, and then I never left and stayed in the same industry. And then as I continued my education and my higher education, I decided that this is the path for me.
I'm glad that your brother got you a job.
Yes,
Honestly,
me too, me too. He always mentions it. That don't forget, I got you.
Uh, oh.
hey, now, hey, listen. Now that I know that, whenever I see him, I'm going to tell him that. I'm going to tell you,
Yeah.
thank you for doing that. So, do you happen to have a direct relationship to anyone who is neurodivergent or?
So, given the statistic that I gave you before, right, 1 out of 33 now, used to be 1 out of 44, we are all impacted. Every single one of us, one way or another. We are somehow, each of us can relate to them. When we do events and I do talks, and I always ask this question, raise your hand if you are somehow impacted by special needs, and you see a lot of hands go up because somehow, somewhere, we are always connected to it, and that's what makes it so special. It wasn't like this years and years ago. The amount of attention that it's getting from not just from us, but also from celebrities and from actors and from politicians. It wasn't like that before. This is the new era that we are in, which is so amazing that this industry finally gets the attention that it deserves. When we are not done yet, our job is not done. I consider our job to be done when there aren't any single individuals on a waiting list waiting to get a home, where to live, where their lifestyle is as good as those living with us, because we provide the supports to them. So when that waiting list is down to zero, then I think at that point we can say, you know what, we have accomplished it. But until then, we have a long fight to take.
Yeah, I was more or less going to say that I think instead of it going to zero, the number of facilities will go unlimited.
Correct, correct,
You know,
correct.
'cause
And for that, we need help. We definitely need help from politicians, from community leaders, from individuals like you guys, from organizations like Embrace, to come together and support us so we can grow and continue to take on these individuals.
I do see some sort of switch, right? Where back in the day, I'm maybe saying more or less 15 or maybe 17 years ago, talking to a neurodivergent individual or anyone in the special needs would be different. I mean, the conversations and reactions would not be the reactions that we're getting now. I mean, there was more judging and there was more of that. Like where nowadays, I almost sometimes I like what's happening, but I feel like it's almost like a fake thing, right? People just want to be for it.
No, it's like you're saying it's like a trend, you're trying to
Mhm.
follow this trend of like being supportive to special needs and neurodivergence and like not really understanding what's going on. You're just doing it because it's the cool thing to do.
A
Yeah,
lot of time we forget that the parents and the caregivers are as equally impacted, right?
Yes.
No parent wants to wake up one day and just decide that I'm going to leave my son or daughter in a care of somebody else. That is a very, very, very tough decision.
yeah.
I do not know what goes through. I mean, I sit with parents and I talk to them and I help them through that transition. But I haven't stepped foot in those shoes to know what it does it feel like to say to an agency, yes, Samir, I trust you, and I'm going to give you my child that I cared for so many years for you to take care of them moving forward. That is not an easy decision.
No, of course,
No.
of course.
And for that, that cannot be a trend. That's a way of life.
You
That's
know what though? It's hard for parents because I'm a parent with my son is autistic, and it is tough. But knowing the fact that when you're gone, your son is gonna be looked after or has somebody to look after because you also have family. Family will always be there, but to have that also, that's like extra support. So I think that's great.
So, with all the demands, not enough supply, what are your thoughts on facilities that can't accommodate individuals?
it's not a good day when we have to tell somebody that unfortunately, um, I cannot admit your son or daughter because of lack of space. That conversation is never easy, especially when they come and they take a tour of your place and they see how great it is and they want to be in it. Okay, Samir, I saw your facility, I saw the staff members, I love your program. Now where's the application so I can sign so my loved one can attend your program? And then I have to tell them, well, unfortunately, there's a waiting list, and this is how many months or year or even more that you have to wait. And for that conversation not to take place, we need more facilities. We need sometimes we have issues even with landlords or buildings refusing to even allow such service to be rendered in their building because they're saying, there's this creates an environment where there's an overflow of vehicles coming in, and it's a lot of staff members going in and out, and it impacts the image of the building per se. So we need those things to go away. We need people to no longer look at this as, well, this is this it just not fair. Access to resources also includes our state and our politicians to look into the cost of running such service and determine whether they can assist us in either reducing the cost that it takes for us to run or support us more financially so we can open up more spaces. New Jersey does not have any funding that is available for you to go and open up a new center. You have to operate your business financially properly in order to create a surplus so you can take the surplus and then open up a new facility. Obviously, there are grants available, there are other assistance available, but those things are not enough to open up a new center.
I mean, this is not a question that I had, but what manpower and what brain power it takes to build a facility that will cater to 100 plus individuals.
To open up a facility, you start with the actual building. The building needs to be renovated. The building needs to be able to sustain the number of people, but at the same time pass the state guidelines and licensing requirements. Then you need infrastructure inside the the space in terms of furniture, equipment. You need staff members, but then you have the other big overhead cost that is not a tangible cost, which is the overhead cost that consists of insurance, right? Employee wages, benefits, workers' compensation in New Jersey is extremely, extremely expensive.
Yeah.
It is one of our highest costs in our books when it comes to workers' compensation. We pay a lot of money for that one, so that needs to be looked at. And we have been actually advocating for our lawmakers to look into the how our workers' compensation rate is determined and help us with that determination so they can lower the cost of it. That's what it takes for us. We need to reduce the cost, the overhead cost, so we can use our surplus in opening up more facilities. You need a building, you need furniture, you need a kitchen, you need good staff members, you need professional licensed staff members such as BCBAs. Abe and you guys have both met Cynthia, for example, Michael
Mhm.
Hitchcock.
Yep.
We are blessed to have a team of 7 BCBAs here, and unfortunately, it's not cheap to hire a BCBA and to also keep them.
What can we do to make this, or what can we do to kind of make this more of a statewide, nationwide, even regional stand?
Advocacy and fundraise; those are the two main components to that. You got to advocate for it, just like you guys have been doing, right? Get the community to be involved as part of it. Create awareness. That's one, and obviously fundraising, which is to basically bring the money in so we can open up facilities, so we can hire more people, so we can purchase equipment that we need.
What you mentioned something about a politician earlier. Are you currently in process to? I overheard you say something about you're working on them to lower.
Right. So we have voiced our concern to our congressional leaders in the state of New Jersey for them to look at the compensate workers' compensation rate that is determined, which is in other words, it's a decimal point, right? It's a number in a decimal point that represents your industry, and you pay a percentage of that multiplied by your total wages. That's the cost of workers' compensation, and that number is very high right now. We've been advocating for them to create a rating specifically designed for this industry, which is special needs industry. We need a code and a rating specifically for this, but we don't have that. So we use the same code as the school districts, regular general education. So we need one specifically for this industry. And I know that it's relatively new to a lot of people. So I'm sure with time that will happen, but we need that as soon as possible. And that rate needs to be a low one so we can sustain ourselves.
How do we spread more about these special issues?
I would say one way that I have been thinking, and we have done it a couple of times, and they were very successful. That Embrace can do. It's actually a parent conference where you are inviting parents. Either these parents are directly impacted, or they are in the educational field and they have students that are impacted. They could be workers of organization like ours that they know about it. So you bring them in, and then at the same time you bring speakers and you bring people from the industry to tell them the process that it takes for someone who has autism and it's diagnosed at the age of 4, let's say, for example. What does it take for a parent from the age of 4 until the age of 21 and above? What needs to happen? A lot of parents don't know that. A lot of parents don't know that you can, if you have a big enough home and you would like to contribute part of that home toward the causes, there are ways to do that. So educating the parents, educating those that are impacted will be very, very, very helpful. And bringing educators as part of it and speakers to tell them. I'm not saying every individual that has autism will end up in a group home. Absolutely not. There are many, many, many people with autism that are currently working with us. We have employees that that are on the spectrum, and they are doing an amazing job. There are people in the financial industry and in Hollywood.
So obviously we're doing our Christmas and New Year's Eve edition episode today. So I'd like to ask you, how does New Horizons celebrate the holidays?
Well, number one, every home gets decorated, and I will send you guys pictures. Every home gets
Yes.
decorated outside, and
Awesome.
it's actually a competition. So they compete for a gift card, and they have a budget that they have to utilize and
That's awesome.
decorate the home inside and outside. That's one. Every single home has a Christmas dinner, right, for their individuals, for their staff members, and they invite us also. So, for example, yesterday I went to New Egypt home, and this Thursday I'm going to our freehold home, and I can bring my family, I can bring my kids. So we do that. Then, in addition to that, we have a large gathering of all of our individuals that come together. This year, that gathering is sponsored by Someone Special Needs You, which is another nonprofit that supports us, like Embrace, and they're gonna do a Christmas dinner for us here in Freehold, and that's for everyone, staff members, individuals, everybody attends. We
Amazing.
also have Santa Day. So last week, I'm going to send you guys more pictures. So we had Santa and Mrs. Claus at New Horizons. They came in, and every single individual got a gift at New Horizons. When we go to the SSNY dinner for Christmas, again, they're going to get another present there as well. So that's 2 presents this year. And then lastly, we look for all community events around this time, whether it's
Mm.
for Christmas, whether it's Hanukkah, whether it's Kwanzaa, whatever it is. We encourage our staff members and the guys to go in, attend. If you got to buy a ticket, but be part of it,
Yeah.
because being part of the community also matters. So holidays for us is huge. If you go to our website www.nhautism.org, there's a gallery. If you click on the gallery, you're going to see our 2 most recent events.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot wait for 2024 to happen and come around already because I'm kind of itching to go to one of these facilities and maybe do something fun with you guys.
Absolutely,
Uh,
absolutely. Looking forward to seeing you.
so, Samir, man, thank you so much
But
for your time. I mean, this has been super, super educational. I mean, when we first started doing this podcast, honestly, like anything that we do, we just do it. We will never know until we do things. But in reality, we didn't know what this could be. There was really no plan for this podcast. But as we go every episode, we try to kind of really focus and emphasize about the educational part,
Absolutely.
and making sure that whoever our guests are, they feel not only comfortable with the information that they're giving out, but they're also happy to be sharing that information, and happy to be spreading as much awareness as we all been. I'd love for you to actually join in on our embracing storming segment.
So one topic I wanted to actually mention is, you talk about Christmas and all the stuff you guys do for at New Horizon. So I was talking with Abe a while ago, and I was like, we should try to do something like a yearly, something once a year for the holidays, maybe like a Christmas event or New Year's event, or if we could do both. We do a Christmas event during Christmas, and then we do something for New Year's Eve. We have the individuals, their families, and their friends. We could
Yeah,
have New Horizon and the box group get involved. We could talk to sponsors from entertainment to food
mhm.
and catering and stuff like that. So, like, what do you think about that idea?
It's a great idea. I think it's definitely doable, and New Horizons will be thrilled to be part of it and attend it and support it.
You know what? You know what? Obviously, this is embrace storming. So I, I,
Yeah,
I was listening to what Samir had said before about the parent conference thing,
yeah, that's a
um,
great idea.
which could be something really cool to match up with a Christmas holiday event. Obviously, I think we're gonna do many events together. Just thinking about how to incorporate that.
That's great. Like involving the parents. I mean, that idea in itself is great. So many ways, not just for the events, but just for everything in the community. So yeah, I mean that's an idea. I mean that's what this segment's for. We could go back and we could add a little pieces of
Yeah,
new ideas to it.
it is.
You
It is.
know.
It is. We would love to be part of it. Our guys
So
love to celebrate, dance, and eat.
we'll close out the embrace storming segment. Thanks, Samir, for being part of
Thank you
our
so much for
first
having me.
segment. All right,
Good
thanks,
Thanks,
seeing you
Samir.
Samir.
both. Good seeing you both.
Thank you, brother.
All right, bro.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right, so guys, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like, share our YouTube. Also, follow us on all social media. Link is below in the description. As we close out the year, let's remember to be kind to each other. To all the new parents who have found out their child is special needs, it's okay to feel overwhelmed and confused. Remember, you have friends here at Embrace. If you need any information or have any questions, please reach out to us. Every year we gain more and more knowledge, so please reach out to us.
On behalf of Embrace, we would like to wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, and a really Happy New Year. We have some more amazing guests coming soon to our podcast. Let's just keep building this amazing community. And again, Samir, Popal, thank you so much for joining us. This recording was super educational, and I'm glad to have you on our podcast. Thank you.
All right, guys, thank you. We'll see you soon.